What is good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It is match reaction time. Or we got a lot to discuss today. We have a lot to discuss. QPR 2, Leeds United 2. In the context of the game, not a bad result, but I do feel after we got the equalizer, there was only going to be one winner, and it should have been us. But we're going to have to take this point as we head into the international break ahead of our next game after the break against Swansea at home. But yeah, there's just so much today we got to discuss in terms of the results, some of the performances, Daniel Farke. But yeah, we've secured a point from a place of seemingly impossibility because I got to be honest, when QPR went 2-0 up, I thought it was going to be one of those days. But fair play to the players that after we got the goal back, they came alive. And I did feel there was only going to be one winner. But man, it's disappointing not to get 3 points. Not gonna lie to you. Cade here saying the ref was the worst. I'm not talking about refs. I'm not talking about refs, Cade. You know, this isn't the channel for it, man. And we had more than enough in our locker to do what we needed to do. I don't think there was any debatable penalties in that regard. He sent that player off at the end, the one that scored against us for the first goal. Terrible challenge, by the way, on Dan James. But should Dan James have even been on the pitch by that? But we're going to speak about that. We're going to speak about it. Yeah, I agree as well. Solomon shouldn't come off. We'll speak about that as well. Anyway, before I get into it, like video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts and comments below. Big thank you to Parrot House, as always. Thank you for the support, Mr. P and William Morrison for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated, guys. So let's get into it. Will, yeah, I'm actually live this time, Will. Hello, hello. I'm surprised you don't know when it's like an upload or a live video. I'm very surprised you didn't realize, but salute to you, Wilf. I'm here live and direct. Yeah, Brendan Aaronson. Okay, we're gonna get into it. But yeah, 2-2. And I know it's against 10-man QPR, but in all fairness, he did get sent off like 3 minutes before the end. So it wasn't like they were down to 10-man for a majority of the game. But I still feel that that result was there to be taken once we got 2-1, got a goal back. I thought we was the only team looking to win it today. Of course, I got to say as well, defensively, we look shaky. I think the whole back line looked a little shaky today. And it contributed especially to that second goal. What a disaster. But in saying that, when we was going forward, I felt there was only going to be one winner. But with our performance today, especially after the first 3-4 minutes, I thought we started quite brightly for an early kickoff. You could see that this was a team that started 3 games in 7 days. You could see it clearly. And what I don't want to see from or hear from Daniel Farke is, yes, it was tough that we had 3 games in 7 days. I don't want to hear him say a word of that. And if he says it, come back in the comments and say he said the thing. Just put he said the thing in the comments, no problem. I don't want to hear him say that because he has had ample opportunity to change a few things around. And I joked on the preview yesterday. He said in the pre-match press conference, he may name the team late on Friday or early Saturday due to late fitness tests. I said he's going to go for the exact same team, and he did so. He did so. And this is where it goes wrong with Daniel Farke, because we had serious opportunity against Millwall to change a couple of players around. Because let me just make it clear, it doesn't need 4 or 5 changes. It doesn't need that. All it needs is a couple of players, especially a couple that aren't playing so well, or a couple that are a bit tired right now, just to take them out and bring in the quality. Let me just say that again, the quality that you have off the bench. And yet again, he's failed to do so. He's a rotation killer. Like, he doesn't like to do it. When he's got something tried and trusted, he does not want to let it go. We'll say again as well, it's clear with every game without him, it just shows the importance of Ethan Ampadu in the midfield. It's one of those things. I always say it, when he's not playing, you definitely notice it. But when he's on the pitch, I think he's kind of taken for granted in the role that he plays. We definitely miss him. But I don't want to hear Daniel Farke talk about 3 games in 7 days. I don't want to hear it. I see Sheffield United put Gus Harmer on the bench at times. I see them taking out Tyrese Campbell, who seems to be scoring every time he plays. He doesn't play a full 90 minutes as well. And these players as well, by the way, they played up until, 85 minutes against Millwall on Wednesday, and there was a few that were clearly leggy. Some of you said I was crazy for that, just because we won the game, and I get it. Some people, when we win, they don't see any blind spots, but I was saying on the stream, on the post-match reaction, it's all there. A few of these players look like they could have done with a rest today, and it looked like that again up until we got our first goal. Yeah, you can't gaslight me. You can't gaslight me. I don't fall for those tricks. I don't fall for them. But yeah, Shrew here saying QPR have not won in the last 4 games. We come there, get a draw. Yeah, they were in terrible form. And I know that we've got a terrible record at QPR. We've got terrible records at early kickoffs. But I still felt that we should have had enough today. The only time I did feel it, though, I will say this, is when I saw the team sheet. I thought, damn, I feel like this may be one game too far for these players. But I think all in all, they did very well to come back and get a point, but it should have been more than that. Let me not just say that. Yeah, they're not a good team. They're really not. You can see what it's about. It's meat and potatoes. It's meat and potatoes football. Even their one half creative spark, Elias Chair, wasn't playing today. It's just a lumpy championship team, and we should be doing better. Yeah, and they don't score many. Yeah, yeah. They don't score many. Yeah, I feel like it was more physically rather than mentally. AFV. I do. I think it was more mentally because Dan James as well for the last couple of games he looked beasted against Millwall and he looked extra tired today. And I can see why Solomon. I mean, Solomon was cooking today, not like in previous months, but he was dangerous today. And I can see why. And I love that Solomon doesn't hide it. I love that he puts his, wears his heart on his sleeve and he's saying, why am I coming off? Because if there's anyone that should have come off, it was DJ. And let me just say this because I always have to say it. I love DJ in the championship, but he has looked tired. And I think he's going away with Wales, isn't he? So he's not even going to get the international break, unlike one Brendan Aaronson. Okay. Unlike one Brendan Aaronson, who's going to have 2 weeks to think about a lot of things. He's going to, you know what I mean? He's going to have 2 weeks to think about a lot of things. Let's talk about the first goal. Listen, in all fairness to Brendan Aaronson, you guys have been calling for an assist, but you didn't say which box. You didn't put that in the T's and C's, did you? You didn't say where you want the assist, did you? Just an absolute brain dead moment from Brendan, and it doesn't help. And I'm not going to pile on him because I think the pile on is going to be enough. But it just put a nail in the coffin for him in terms of how people are saying it's like playing with 10 men when he's on the pitch lately. Well, it was like playing against 12 because he provided the assist for their goal. Absolutely brilliant strike, by the way. Lovely curl, lovely finish by their player. Let me get his name because he also got sent off. Saito, good goal from him. But Brendan, if he was looking, and this is about decision making, this is about awareness. He tried to pass it back blindly to Jaden Bogle, who was marked by I think 2 people. Dan James had actually set off. If you look on the replays, Dan James was actually like a one-on-one. Now, in Dan James's form, I don't know how far he would have got, but he was an outlet and he was on his way. And then you just see Dan James look back going, oh, it was just poor all around for Brendan. Cannot do that. Yeah, with a no-look pass in his own box. Yeah, he can't do that. You just can't do it. And the fact that he got taken off at halftime once again speaks volumes. Do I expect to see him start against Swansea? Oh, you believe he'll be starting against Swansea because what we're going to get on the pre-match press conference, people, is yes, Brendan has had time to rest and re-energize and look at the decisions he's made over the past few games, and he will come back stronger. He will come back like he was early in the season. So we're going to see him back again. Don't let the Gnonto brilliant cameo fool you from today. We're going to see Brendan back at it again after 2 weeks away. He's so off it. Yeah. Does Gnonto get his spot now? I don't think he will. But it should be an option after the break because if Dan James plays like I think he is going to for Wales, then Gnonto could easily slot in on the right-hand side. And I say this with the fact or just the overbearing thought that Brendan is going to start the next game. So take that spot out of it. I think that Gnonto could come in for James just to give him a break. But then will he want to rest him against his former team, Swansea? Will James be motivated? There's all kinds of things. But we'll see how we look after the international break. Yeah, Ryan here saying, what annoyed me was Aaronson put his arms up to Meslier after that no-look pass as to say, why didn't you save it? Yeah. Look, I'm not putting this on Meslier. I'm not putting it on Meslier. That is a pure boneheaded decision from Aaronson. It is. There's nothing else to it. But I know some players feel they do that in the spare of the moment. Then after the game, they go, yeah, that's on me. But yeah, it does look bad when you just can't look at it and go, damn, why am I trying to no-look pass it back to Jaden Bogle when I got an outlet like Dan James who's free? He was free. He wasn't even being marked. It's a shame. Yeah, the Well Steel. Yeah, Well Steel. Paul saying here, international breaks, just wish Farke would pull the players out. Like, once again, I get a couple comments like this, but you can't do it. Clubs, although they pay the wages, it's a UEFA thing, FIFA thing, right? They're in control of it. So unless there's injuries or the international team, agree to take a player out, we've got no power to it. But what I will say on the flip side is that you should want that your team is full of internationals, because that means there's something right there. I mean, even Isaac Schmidt got a call up to Switzerland. Don't know if he's going to play. I mean, they must have liked what they've seen in the 180 minutes he's played for the team. Let's have a look here. Boy in Bandana, thank you for the super chat here. Hey, KG, great content as always. Thank you. Can Meslier do better for the first goal? Gnonto showing what a 10 should be doing. He should have had more time. Yeah. Listen, I pick my battles with Meslier. I say it's just a good strike. Do I think another keeper could possibly save it because it wasn't right in the corner? Sure. But that's not the battle I'm going to pick today, boy in the bandana. I've had enough of the Meslier battles this season. This is not really on him. In terms of just it shouldn't have happened. There's a lot of things I say with Meslier where it shouldn't have happened. That pass from Aaronson back to Bogle, blind pass, that shouldn't have happened too. But yeah, if your goalkeeper's more alert, more aware, then maybe so. But that's not a battle I'm picking today, boy bandana. But listen, thank you for that. Let's see. Elliot here saying, can see Farke is going to mess up yet again. I hope not, man. I hope not. Look, we got 8 games left. 8 games left, and our fixture run is so favorable. I know I've mentioned already previously about some of the fixtures being against teams at the bottom, and they're fighting tooth and nail not to get relegated. But you'd hope with the amount of home games we have left that we should be getting maximum points in a lot of those games. But this has been, since the Sheffield United game, this has been a very, very poor return of points. The Millwall game aside, the other 3 games we haven't got maximum points. You know what I mean? One against West Brom at home, poor for me after the 2 previous results. Loss against Portsmouth, win against Millwall, a point at QPR. Got to do better than that. Got to do better than that. With Aaronson coming off, though, Gnonto came on. And Gnonto, with 45 minutes in his pocket, showed what he's about and what he could have done possibly in earlier games. And we'll never know now. It's all hypothetical. But Gnonto was a huge difference maker. There was a couple of balls that he put through, and it's horrible to say, but you're just thinking, Brendan isn't doing that in his current run of form. He's not doing it. But Gnonto there he was aggressive with the ball, tenacious, riding through, getting past players, opening up space for Bogle to move around. That's the difference that Willie Gnonto can make. That is the big difference. I've been calling for it. Put him in the 10. Give him a chance. People have been talking about his work rate. Gnonto was back there as Rothwell was losing the ball a couple of times, digging in to get the ball back. That's what Gnonto's does that, though. I don't know where that's come from, that Gnonto is just like a luxury player. He's been very good on the defensive side. So will he get a chance to see that in the Swansea game? I hope he does, but I would not hold your breath. Yeah, Duck as well. Gnonto looked like he wanted the ball, was not hiding today. He was trying to make things happen. And that's what you want from Willie. And I just feel like the opportunities that he should have been getting, we got a little taste of it today. Got a little taste, and I hope he does get more in the remaining 8 games, especially if Brendan is in this kind of form. Especially. Darren here saying set pieces were garbage today. Yeah, they were garbage against Millwall too, Darren. They were garbage against Millwall. I think for a little bit as well, Rothwell stopped taking them and Solomon went over to take the corners, but all in all, they were just bad overall. I always praise the defense. I know I said at the top of the show that they were poor, but it was a real mixed bag today for the central defenders today. They looked like they had an MMA fighter up front, that Frey striker, but yeah, it wasn't a good outing for them. But they've been so good overall. I'm not going to just lambast them for today, but we did look very, very shaky. And that second goal, that was disgracia. That was poor. That was so poor. The guy was free. Simple as that. Steve Cook, in big old 2025, just free as a bird. I don't even know who to put the blame on for that. I think that was just a collective effort, because you could say it was Strout, you could say it was Roden, you could say it was Tanaka. They were just ball watching 2-0, and you're thinking, God damn, it's going to be a tough day today. But big credit to the team for pulling this through and getting at least a point. So now we can watch the Steel City derby tomorrow with a little bit more ease. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's disappointing not to get a win and just before the international break, because that would have been huge for the team. Huge for the team to be, well, we don't know what Burnley's result's going to be in a couple of hours, but to be 7 points clear of third would have been nice. Then it could have been four if Burnley do win. Yeah, it's a shame, man. It's a shame. Carl here saying Solomon involved in both goals is still dangerous. Can't believe he's taken off. He's the biggest threat. That's why I'm saying for me on Wednesday. I know Rafael got man of the match, but Mano was the most dangerous player, and he was again today. Honestly, as well. Let me just say this before I forget. Bogle on both goals. Striker's awareness, people. First of all, for the first one where Solomon plays it across, I think it's been given as an own goal, by the way. I don't think Firpo's got it at this moment in time. But if Bogle touches that, it's probably given us offside. So his awareness not to touch it just to make sure as a fullback, as a wing back is brilliant. And then his finish, that was striker instinct. To, just to follow the ball, Solomon takes a shot that's, first of all, that was from the pass from Willie Gnonto that set that all off. But for him to be in the right place at the right time, it was like watching a number 9. So big up to Jayden Bogle for that. And as you can see, people, Bogle as a yellow card. He's not missing any games, just to make anyone aware that he has got his 10th yellow card, but that cutoff was against Millwall. So don't worry about that. He will be up against Swansea. So we're all good. Chris, the president of the Farke Out fan club here, Chris. No credit whatsoever from me, KG. None at all. Pathetic result, Chris. I don't disagree, but I'm talking about in context of how the game started, because we looked like we was asleep after the 4th minute. So I'm taking it game. It's a match reaction, so I'm reacting to the match that we've seen. But of course, a draw away at QPR after being 2-0 down isn't a good result in isolation. But if you take the context of it and where we were, it's a decent point, but it should have been more. And it could have been more in another way, by the way, because I feel like Dan James could have come off way earlier. I don't think he didn't come off. He should have come off in around 55 minutes. Farke should have seen that it just wasn't working with DJ today, and bring on Ramazani for a bit longer. Once again, Ramazani getting make-a-wish minutes. What are people expecting him to do in 5-6 minutes? It's ridiculous at this point. So, and Solomon could have gone over there. Gnonto could have gone over there. Ramazani could have even played over on the right for a bit. It wouldn't have made a big difference because they all interchange anyway. We've seen James switch over to the left. Solomon moves over. That should have been the change. And if you get that kind of attacking impetus on before 90-something minutes or 80-something minutes, I feel we had a better chance of going on and putting the game to bed. I do. Ian saying here, KG, I told you 2 weeks ago the manager was not going to change anything. Yeah, Ian, I know this too, Ian. But the thing is, when you're doing videos, I can't just put on there, Farke needs to change, but I know he's not. So goodbye, everybody. You know what I mean? What you do is, as a creator, you've got to put he needs to change something and then put a solution out there. Don't just moan about the problems. You've got to put a solution out there, which is what that's what I do. So I'm with you though, and I think it's been evident that he's not going to change. The fact that we've had the same starting lineups for 3 games in a row in 7 days, which for me is preposterous. It reminds me of last season where it didn't matter the level of opposition. We was going to see Somerville and we was going to see Jorginho no matter what. Even though you could have put Anthony in there, you could have put Gelhardt in there just to give those boys a break, because it was a lot through them. But we just kept on just beasting them over and over and over again. Ian just following up saying, yeah, I hear that, KG. I'm just very frustrated. I hear you. I understand, Ian. I understand. Yeah, Ryan, yeah, KG has got to be able to make content. Exactly. Otherwise, I'd have nothing to talk about, would I? I wouldn't have nothing to talk about. Look. Okay, yeah, Michael here. There we go. January, I can see why 49ers might not have recruited. Firstly, he isn't using the whole squad effectively, and maybe they want to jettison him and buy for a new manager next season. Michael, this is a loaded comment. But first of all, by the way, that whole thing in the pre-match press conference with Popey asking about would you sign any free agents? I don't know where that came from. I don't know where the journals just plucked that one from the air. But I would say on that point anyway, what's the point in getting a free agent when he doesn't even use the current bench he's got? Like, what is this free agent that hasn't played football in a year? What chance have they got? So he was right to say use youngster and dismiss the question. But I don't know about him going in the summer. I don't know if the 49ers are going to do that, Michael. If we are to go up, do I see them letting go of Farke and getting in someone even better? I don't. I wouldn't mind it, but I don't see it. And also, anyway, in regards to summer recruitment, and we're not there yet, people, but you've got to buy for the club first. If the manager can't work with the players that the club deem good enough to keep us in the Premier League, then you find another coach for me. We've already done it before in the Premier League where we've bought for coaches, whether that be Jesse Marsh, Bielsa before. They all wanted a certain type of player. Bielsa loved the runners with little tech so he can mold them. Jesse Marsh loves his narrow players. And it was a disaster, wasn't it? The club have got to work out a plan and say, coach, here's the players, do something. Otherwise, if it doesn't work for Daniel Farke after a certain amount of games, you're getting someone else that can work with the players, and that's the way it's got to be for me. Yeah, I know, Ian saying the journalists are propaganda machine for the club. That's why they don't challenge Farke. It's just, you just got to think, haven't you? They've been to journalist school, haven't they? They've taken a course of journalism. When you're not asking about a clear thing, which is early kickoffs, which we have clearly had an issue with under Farke, that's got to be something where they've been banned from asking. It has to be. Also about the lack of rotation in certain areas, especially with some out of form players. That's got to be something they were obviously banned from asking. Otherwise, what are they learning in journalism school? You know what I mean? Michael here saying, largely, that's obviously a club vibe, not being used to our advantage. Fuck, I hope. No, I think Ramazani has been a good signing, but in Farke's defense for that one, Solomon has been the better left winger overall. Ramazani started off well. He obviously picked up the injury, but Solomon has been good. The problem is when Solomon had like a 2-3 game spell where he wasn't doing so well, that's when you're supposed to put Ramazani back in, and he didn't do it. He just persisted with Solomon, which obviously has benefited us over the past 2 games. But that's more of a thing that I think of for Farke. For me, for the last 2 years, he's obviously got a great record, but it's almost like having a Porsche and you look under the hood and go, "Ooh, yikes, what's that there?" Because you're looking and going, why can't he sometimes just see that there are obvious changes to make? You've got the quality to do so. Just do it. Rotate the team, keep the team hungry. I just look at this team sheet today and go, the players must look around going, right, lads, yeah, you again, yeah. And the bench just going, what have I got to do to get a start here? You know what I mean? But yeah, listen, it is what it is. We'll talk about that more, I'm sure, in the international break. What else was there? Who else performed well? Who else performed poorly? Firpo again, by the way, brilliant threat down the left once again from Junior. Like I say, I don't know if he's going to be given that goal. It's gone down as a Morgan Fox own goal. As the last time I refreshed the page. Let's have a look. Yeah, still an own goal on that one, but again, heavily involved in the attacks for Leeds United. Absolutely, brilliant stuff from Junior at this level. Yeah, Solomon can play in the 10. That would be an option, just something different there. Yes, Solomon can play in the 10. He's played there for Israel. he's played there for Israel. So it's not like it's a foreign position for Mano. And it just didn't make sense him coming off. No way. Yeah, Colin, yeah, our 2 fullbacks were good. They were brilliant, man. They were brilliant. Pops, who was your man of the match? Oh, who was your man of the match? That's a good question, Pops. That's a good question. I could say Gnonto for the cameo and just the difference he made and the energy he gave us and more of a threat. Maybe Jaden Bogle for me overall. It's a tough one though because we've drawn the game, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But yeah, maybe Bogle for me overall. Yeah, D Parker saying as well he liked Bogle as man of the match, or she, sorry. Kelvin here, Gnonto has all the attributes, played 10. Yeah, he has done. Bogle, yeah, Firpo Bogle, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah. So a lot of people saying Bogle and yeah, Sam. Burpo's better than Aaronson in the 10. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. Sean saying no, there is no man of the match. Tremendous. Okay. Is there anything else from the game that I may have missed? Anything else that really stands out today? I don't think there is. I think I've covered all bases. Think I have. Don't think I've missed anything at all. Let me just get the table up. Oh, before I go from the table, obviously Burnley kick off in about 9 minutes away at Swansea. You got to hope maybe Swansea can do something here. And of course, it's a Steel City derby tomorrow, Sheffield Wednesday versus Sheffield United. I will be watching that one, of course. Can the Owls do anything for us? Hey, Sheffield, can you do something for me? Roden as man of the match. Ryan here saying the sub before the second half was a nice surprise, to be fair. Yeah. mean, it was pretty obvious though, wasn't it? It was another Hall of Shame performance from Brendan. And I look, let me just say this: I've bigged up Brendan already this season, and I hope he comes back to just being a useful player again. Because at the moment, he has become a hindrance in the team. But this isn't really on him now; it's on Farke to take him out the firing line, which I think he did for the second half. But we'll see come after the international break because he's going to have 2 weeks of rest. All right. Matt here saying toughest away game behind us now. Yeah, our run of fixtures is really good, Matt, and I'm going to get into that on another video, of course. But we've played all the better teams in terms of Sheffield United, Burnley, West Brom. For us, Blackburn, they seem to be an issue. Millwall, we've got them out the way. We've got a very nice run of fixtures to finish this season. It's up to the team to finish it strong now. And I hope obviously, I hope we do. It goes without saying, I hope we do, because we need to finish top 2, people. We have to finish top 2. Yeah, and this is the table just before we leave the stream, people. Again, once again, everyone, thanks for joining me for the post-match review. We're currently top, 80 points. Sheffield United can equal that tomorrow with a win at Sheffield Wednesday. Burnley, of course, play Swansea, and if they do, they'll just be 2 points behind us going into this international break. So yeah, people, that is it for the review. I hope you're all good. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will be back with more content, so keep the notifications on so you know when I've uploaded or go live. And people, like the video, it's free and it helps me out. It helps out the channel as well for more visibility. So appreciate you all. See you in the next one. Leeds still top. We got to do better. Peace.